Welcome. Today I'm going to show you how you can modify your Nerf Stryfe from home with just a few easy things. All you will need to do this is a screwdriver to remove screws, something I'm sure everybody has, some electrical tape. However, Scotch tape will work. I think electrical tape is just a little bit better. And you will also use some Scotch tape. Again, you can do, I don't have Scotch tape, so I'm showing you this. And again, you can do the whole thing with just one kind of tape. I just thought this combination was what was right for me, just because it was what I had lying around. As you can see, this is a classic Nerf Stryfe, but these modifications should work on any sort of Stryfe skin or any similar blaster that uses similar internal mechanics. So let's get started. First thing you're going to need to know is what we're modifying. So we're going to be modifying the lock on the magazine. So if you'll notice, try to run the magazine. Try to run it without a magazine, you will be able to. You need to put it in to run. This can slow down the time between when you put the magazine in and you want to shoot, because it takes time for the flywheels to rev up. We're also going to show you how to remove the lock on the top, so that if you run out of ammunition, you can just throw darts in the top and fire them automatically. And I'm also going to show you how to improve the flywheel system in the front, so that your gun can shoot harder and faster. Not by a whole lot, but for free, it's not bad. We're going to start by removing this and just putting this over here for now. We're going to put the gun down and open it up. Now, this part is purely cosmetic, so we can just move that over here. As you notice, this part popped off already on mine. This is just held in by a thin screw up here, but we're going to remove it anyway, so let's put that up there. Next part we're going to remove is this front part here. It's not really serving any purpose, it's just kind of annoying and I don't want that to flop out. I'm also going to remove the top as well as the bottom sling mount, just because I don't want them falling out. So, if you notice this small bump right here, this is what forces you to have a magazine in before you fire. The magazine pushes it back, and that allows the gun to fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that part entirely. So what you're going to need is take your screwdriver and remove the screws here and here. I figured I could probably skip over this part, but honestly I figured you need time to, unscrew that too. So if you're following along, go ahead and unscrew it. Plus it's pretty quick anyway, so that's not too much of a pain. You just put those aside. And what you're going to do is just push the rev in so that this lock can go down. Slide that away and pick it up. Now, we're going to put this right up here. Now, yours will have this part in here that you can remove, but you'll probably notice mine looks a little bit different. And that's because I removed these two pieces and this spring here. Those you'll see in the bottom, you can just rip them out. You don't need them, and you will be throwing them away at the end. This part as well, I managed to figure out where it goes with the video, but you can just get rid of it. Then, this part though, I would recommend keeping. Then what you're going to do is, I know it's good, but you can also use your fingers. Just fish this out. What you're going to do is get a thin piece of Scotch tape or whatever other tape. And as you can see, I've just put the tape around the black button, and by forcing that down, you will keep the lock up and make it always ready to fire. So once you've done that, you can stick it back in the gun, which is taking me a minute. However, you'll need this minute to get that done. So you can just get that in. Want to pause the video and wait? Go ahead. But all you're doing is putting a piece of Scotch tape over the button so it doesn't need to fire. As I said before, the other pieces you can get rid of, but this piece, just to make the action more smooth, I would recommend keeping. You can just slide that right back on in there. Keep it with your two screws. I would put this in right back in right now, just so that you don't lose any pieces. test that out, you can put this back in and try the rough sugar, and you'll notice that it will roll up. Now, speaking of, that is the next lock that we're going to cover. Well, that lock is a little more exposed. That lock sits up here, and this, when it lowers, presses in the button. So what you're going to do is the same thing by removing this and covering tape. However, to make it a little bit easier, I recommend you remove this screw here and this screw here. By removing these, you expose the wire cover bar, which will make this whole process easier by making the wires loose. Just grab them and lift this up. Get a thin piece of Scotch tape, or again, any other kind of tape. Tape it to cover the button. If you like, there are more complicated methods where you remove the internal spring. However, I would recommend just covering it in tape. This is quicker, easier, and if you want to undo it, you absolutely can. So just put that piece back there, but leave this piece uncovered, because that will be good for later. Now, you have your two locks removed, but what you want to do is make the flywheels faster. There are options online where you can buy entirely new flywheels or flywheel cages, and those can help considerably, but they can be 20, 30, 10, I don't know how much, but they're expensive. There might be 4 screws in yours, there are 2 in mine, but just get your screwdriver and unscrew the screw that are there to open up the flywheel cage. And you'll notice the flywheel cage has a small lock there. So if you have something thin that you can stick in the lock to open it up, that would be great. And that will allow you to force this piece off. Once the flywheel is removed, set that aside with your pieces. For this purpose, I would also recommend removing the end strike barrel attachment, which is right there, and the internal tube. You can place those up with your pieces. Now, the next piece that we're going to look at is you're going to notice that mine are black, and this is where the electrical tape came in. As you'll notice, the flywheels are quite smooth. If you look at your own, they are completely smooth and this slippery sort of plastic. So that is why I recommended electrical tape or any other sort of rubbery tape. Now, what I would do is I would take a strip of this and cut it lengthways down that way. And from there, you can roll it in by placing the strip into the flywheels and spinning. This doesn't work great when it's not cut in half, but when you cut it in half, you should be able to roll it onto the flywheels. If you look at the top, there's some discoloration, which is actually from the glue that Nerf uses, so you can't remove them. You can remove the flywheel cage, but you can't actually remove the internals, they're stuck. So I would recommend not doing that. Just roll the tape around. Now, I was able to fit 3 rolls around here and 4 rolls around here. However, it might be different for every gun just because how the plastic was made. So what I would recommend doing is cutting out a piece about this long and rolling it around. Once you roll it around, pull the trigger to make sure that it spins. If it spins how it is supposed to, go ahead and add another layer, and you can continue this process until until one of them, say, doesn't spin. Then what you can do is remove a layer of tape and try it again until they spin. Have the maximum layers of tape without the tape interfering with the plastic. Now you have completed everything you need to do. So just in case you've misplaced some pieces or forgotten, I'm going to show you how to reassemble the gun. Starting up the front. So get your and strike barrel attachment and insert the connecting tube and place that right on the inside of there. And there, add your connector. Screw on the top. Top and bottom sling attachment points. There's this wire cage down here. And now before you decide to just don't stop the video and skip to the end, which probably some people have already done, this part, that's where this becomes optional. So for cosmetic purposes, if you would like, you can leave it off. For cosmetic purposes only, I prefer to have it on, but that is your choice. So personally, I will be putting it back in. However, with these modifications, and by putting this in, these modifications, you should be able to put your screws back in, and load your mag. And notice that you should be able to grab it at the magazine and with this open. And so if you need, you can just throw, my bad, you can just throw a Nerf dart in the top. So, thank you very much. And please give the video a big thumbs up.